G'day everyone, welcome to Inside Rugby with Mark. My name is Mark. I'm a Kiwi rugby fan who's living here in beautiful Cancun in Mexico, and in this video I'm going to be previewing the game between Italy and Scotland, going to be played in Rome on Saturday. It's the first game in round 4 of the 2024 Six Nations competition. Hey, welcome to the channel everyone. If you haven't been here before, welcome. It's great to have you here, and if you think my content is worth following, then why not hit that subscribe button and give this video a bit of a thumbs up. Helps me out tremendously. For everybody that's returning again and a regular viewer to the channel, great to have you here with us. Don't forget, put your comments down below. Interested to know how you think this game is going to go between Italy and Scotland. So the two teams have been announced now, and I'm going to go through the two teams and I'm going to give you my prediction for how I think this game is going to go in Rome on Saturday. So let's get... Now we're into the fourth game of the Six Nations this year, and by this time Gregor Townsend, the coach of Scotland, has probably got some idea on who his favoured players are for the forwards, and this starts to show in this particular game as well. So starting off in the front row for Scotland this weekend, we have Schoeman, Turner and Ferguson, and they've been pretty good contenders so far for Scotland throughout the series, and I expect them to do very well against this Italian front row. So I think this is going to be one of the telling points in the game in terms of being able to win the structured set pieces of play, and I think Scotland might be in a better position to do that, but that's going to be the front row for Scotland in this game. Then moving on to the locks, we have Cummings and Gilchrist, been playing well so far in the Six Nations. Watch out for them in the line-out. They're going to have to win some line-out ball and make sure Italy doesn't disrupt their line-out ball in this game. So watch out for Cummings and Gilchrist in those positions. Moving on to the back three, we've got Christie and Darge on the flanks, and then we've got Dempsey at number 8, and Dempsey played a fantastic game last time out, I thought, against England, and probably the pick of the Scottish forwards. So a really good back three there for Scotland, and as I said, I think the breakdown, winning of the breakdown is going to be critical in this game. Italy have showed at different times that they've been good at getting in and disrupting the opposition ball, but Scotland are going to have to be able to step up and do this on a consistent basis across the 80 minutes. So that's the starting pack for Scotland. Let's have a look at their reserve bench and who's going to come on. And again, Townsend stayed with a number of players here who have been pretty settled as far as the subs goes for Scotland this year, and we're talking about Ashman, Miller-Mills, Skinner, Ritchie and Ferguson, of course. So a good bench there for Scotland. They're going to have to bring that bench on at a critical time in the game and really keep the pressure on Italy. And again, I think the key to this game is going to be which team is able to play out the 80 minutes. We've seen Scotland throughout the series so far have patches of really good play, but they've also fallen off the intensity at different stages and allowed their opposition back in the game. Will they do that against Italy this weekend? And if they do, how costly will it be? Okay, let's have a look at the Scottish backs now that are going to start this game for them. Okay, starting off at fullback, and we've got Blair Kinghorn. Of course, he came back from injury against England last time out for Scotland, played reasonably well. Gregor Townsend will be wanting him to step a little bit more and get more involved in the backline play from Scotland. So let's see if that happens this weekend. On the wings, we've got Steyn and we've got Van der Merwe. No doubt about it that Van der Merwe is probably one of the players of the tournament so far. He's been playing absolutely brilliantly, ably assisted by Finn Russell, of course, setting up a couple of great tries for him. So watch out for Van der Merwe again in this game this weekend. He could be a dangerous threat for Scotland. And then moving on into the centres, we've got Hugh Jones, of course, at outside centre, and because of Tupoloto being out, we've got a change here, and Cameron Redpath comes in. I'm excited by this young guy. I think he's got a lot of talent. Each time he's come off the bench for Scotland, he's shown the potential that he has, and I think starting a game is going to be a really good thing for him. He's got Jones outside him, he's got Finn Russell inside him, so a lot of experience around him to keep him on track and to help him out. And I think Cameron Redpath's going to have a big game this weekend for Scotland, so good to see him there. And then of course we've got Finn Russell inside him, and what do we say about this guy? He's been masterful for Scotland so far in this series. Is he due to have a bad game? Because if he does, Scotland might have a little bit of a struggle in this game, but I can't see it. I think Finn Russell's going to turn up again in Rome this weekend, and I think he's going to have a really good game. So Finn Russell at number 10. And then at number 9, we've got Horn coming in this weekend in the halfback position for Scotland. So that's their run-on backs for this game. Now let's have a look at their subs that are coming off the bench, and there's only 2 of them this weekend, so they've gone for a 6-2 split, which is interesting in itself. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Do you think Gregor Townsend's gone the right way about creating a 6-2 split for Scotland? Interested to know your views. And those 2 that are on the bench in the back line this weekend for Scotland are Price and they are Rowe. And Rowe's been playing pretty well when he's been on the field this Six Nations series. So interesting there, a 6-2 split. Not sure how that's going to play out. Obviously, Gregor Townsend wants to dominate in the forwards this game and put a lot of pressure on Italy throughout the game. He probably feels that's where their weakness is at. And I probably tend to think so as well in terms of the Italian pack going for 80 minutes. So there we go, that's Scotland's team to run out and also their subs for this weekend. Let me know in the comments what you think about the makeup of this Scottish team. What do you think of Cameron Redpath in there at number 12? Do you think he's going to do the job for Scotland? Okay, let's move on and have a look at the home team's selections for this weekend. And Gonzalo Quesada, of course, the new head coach of Italy, has been trying to make his new, I guess, position within this Italian team and getting them to play in the direction that he wants to. He's been successful in a couple of different phases of games, I think, throughout the Six Nations, but he hasn't really put together a masterful game yet in 80 minutes. And is this going to be the game this weekend where Italy put it together for 80 minutes? Because if they do, they could be dangerous, of course. Now let's start off in the forwards for Italy and see who's going to start the game for them this weekend. Starting off in the front row, and we've got Fischetti, we've got Nicotera in the hooker position, and we've got Ferrari as the other prop. I think these guys are going to have a bit of a hard time against their Scottish counterparts. It's going to be interesting to see how they go, but I think that set piece, scrum and line out is going to be really important in this game, because as we've seen, once Scotland get that settled, they're able to get good distribution ball out to that back line to be able to score points, and I think that's going to be a critical part of this game. Moving on to the Italian locks, and we've got Rusa and we've got Cannoni. And I've said in previous videos, Rusa needs to clean up his discipline. He cost Italy a number of points in that game against France. He also did the same thing against Ireland. So he needs to be watching out for his discipline this weekend. And I'm sure Gonzalo Quesada's probably had a word in his ear about that one as well. Then moving into the back 3 of the forwards for Italy to start this game. And we've got Negri back, which is good. He's a fantastic player. And of course, when he's on song and playing well, this Italian pack seems to be going well. Flank, we've got Lamaro, and nothing needs to be said about this guy. He's a great player. He's very energized throughout the whole game, and he's going to give everything for this Italian pack in the weekend. At number 8, we've got Vincent, and it's going to be interesting to see how he goes at number 8. I think Lamaro's probably a better number 8, but let's see how Vincent handles it this weekend. So that's the starting pack for Italy this weekend. I think they're going to be outplayed by Scotland. And the reason I think they're going to be outplayed is in 2 areas. I think Scotland are going to win the scrums and have too much structure and pressure and technical expertise for Italy. And I think also in the breakdown, Scotland are going to be superior, particularly with Darge and Dempsey there at the back. Those guys can really get in there and get quick ball for Scotland, and I think that's going to be key in this game. Okay, let's take a minute and have a look at the Italian reserves for this game. And we've got Lucchesi, Spagnolo, Zambonin, Lorenzo, Cannoli and Zuloschi, and they're good forwards to come on, big guys, and can really make a difference. But again, I think Scotland's going to have the heads up on this one. I've just got a feeling that the Scotland forwards, both the starting 8 and also the ones coming off the bench, are going to be able to take it to the Italians over 80 minutes. I think there's going to be periods of the game where the Italian forwards show up and do well, but I think over the course of 80 minutes, it's going to be the Scottish forwards that make the difference in this game. Rightio, let's have a look at the Italian backline that's going to face Scotland on Saturday, and we start off at fullback, and it's Capuzzo. Scored that great try in the last game against France, and was one of the game changers really in getting Italy back into that game. So he's going to be starting at fullback again. And then on the wings, we've got Liner and Ioane. And it's just one thing, if you haven't heard the news, that I've always been beaten on about how good Tommaso Allan is in this Italian team. He's actually taken some time out for his mental well-being. He feels as though there's too much pressure on at the moment. He's been put on the bench on a couple of occasions, hasn't got a run for Italy. On top of that, with his domestic rugby, he's finding the time away from his family is taking its toll. And he's decided to sit out the rest of the Six Nations. So that's why we haven't seen Tommaso Allan for this Italian team. Now moving on to their centre pairing this weekend, it's going to be Brax and Manoncello. Both of these guys have been playing well in their recent games. Of course, we saw Menoncello out there on the wing as a bit of an experiment last time out. He's back into his normal position. Expect him to have a good game. And I think the more that Menoncello and Brex play, they're showing some good stuff for Italy, and their defence is getting better as well. And that's going to be a key moving forward with this team. And then moving on inside them, we've got number 10, of course, and it's Gabrici. If he's got over that penalty kick from their last game against France, he'll be showing up this weekend in Rome. As I've always said, he's not my favourite player, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and let's hope he has a good game against Scotland this weekend. And then as far as their halfback goes, it's going to be Paige Riello back out there again. A bit of a surprise. He's been playing well. He's that French-born player that's playing for the Italians, and did quite well in their last game out, so that's probably why Quesada has given him another chance and the number 9 jersey this weekend. So that's the back line for Italy that's going to start this game. Now Italy's gone for a 5-3 split in this game, and their 3 back reserves are Vani, Marin and Mori. So those guys, of course, Vani, the halfback that'll come on, and Marin and Mori are utility backs that can play in any position. So it's going to be good to see what impact they have. So an interesting split here between the two teams when it comes to the substitutions. Gregor Townsend seems to be putting more emphasis on the pressure of the forward domination over Italy, whereas Italy is covering their backs and obviously looking at their defence a little bit more against the Scottish team. And Scotland, of course, have been scoring a number of points in the Six Nations competition, so Italy will be aware of trying to get up in their faces, and therefore they're going to get tired and make a lot of tackles, and I think that's going to be the overall impact that happens in this game. So there we go, there's the two teams. So now let's get on to my prediction. Okay, so what's my prediction for this game between Italy and Scotland to be played in Rome on Saturday? Well, first of all, I think it's going to be an energised Italian team that comes out and hits the ground running in that first 15 or 20 minutes. I think that performance against France and how close they got in that game is going to bring quite a lot of self-belief to this Italian team, and I think we're going to see that in their home stadium in Rome on Saturday to start off the game. But I think the issue that Italy has is their fact that they can't go 80 minutes at the moment in any of these games. And when Scotland gets points on the board and keeps the scoreboard ticking over, and that's what they're very good at doing, the Scottish team. They had that close game against Wales, of course, but they were that far in the lead that Wales weren't able to run them down in the end. And I think that's going to be the case again in this game. We saw it last time out for Italy. France didn't have enough points there, and they weren't able to get away with it. But Scotland, I think, have got the ability to score more points and therefore make it harder for Italy to come back into the game if they are trailing. And of course, we saw Italy leading England at halftime in that game, so there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. But I think Scotland forwards are going to get on top in this game after the 20-minute mark and start getting good possession for Scotland to be able to score points. And I think that's where the difference is going to really lie in this game. So big games from Dempsey and Darge, Cummings and Gilchrist, which are going to set up good ball for the Scottish backs to do something with it. And expect Cameron Redpath to fit into the Scottish back line in a really good way to help their outside backs score those points as well. Finn Russell's going to be good from the tee, and he'll get over any penalties and conversions that come his way in the game. I think also the set pieces around the scrums is going to be important for Scotland. They're going to have to dominate that and put the pressure on Italy and get the Italian defence thinking twice when it comes to that ball coming out the back to Horn and to Finn Russell. So I think across the pitch, Scotland have got a little bit too much for Italy in this game, and I think they're going to run away by about 15 points. I'm picking Scotland to win this game. Now let me know in the comments what you think. Are we going to be in for another dramatic Italian comeback and maybe put pressure on Scotland? Is this the banana skin game for Scotland in this year's Six Nations tournament? And is Gonzalo Quesada's team going to be able to come out and play for a full 80 minutes and show us what they've really got? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, so make sure you put them at the bottom of this video. Now I'm going to be making more videos this weekend about the previews to the other games. We've got, of course, England playing Ireland at Twickenham, and we've got Wales up against France at Cardiff at the Principality Stadium. So watch out for those previews. And then after the games have been played, I'll be making full reviews of the games, giving you my opinions, looking at those players that I thought did very, very well, and where the strategies worked and didn't work for each of these teams. So plenty coming up over the weekend of this year's rugby in the Six Nations competition for round number 4. Well, once again, if you like my content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, give me your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear from you, and I will read all of the comments, I can guarantee you that. Okay, I'll be back again really soon. It's time to say adios from beautiful Cancun, and I'll see you again in the next video. Until then, stay safe and stay well, everyone. Bye for now.